Welcome to Warped, a completely searchable podcast. In this episode, Data gets to be a parent for a day. Are you ready, Daddy? I'm Erin.
I'm
Matt.
Go.
I'm Sean.
That's Jacob.
Oh, did Matt go? I was yelling at you.
I went.
MJ.
No, he went before me.
What a catastrophe.
Wow.
I'll
From the
take the
top.
blame for it.
A
It's good.
fiasco. No, you were perfect. It was everybody else who fucked.
No, I'm enjoying the fact that I made you guys laugh and it threw off the whole thing.
There was a long ass pause, and I was upset by it. I'm sorry.
Well, don't worry because that won't be there when
It'll
anybody
get
ever listens. to this.
Just my rant about it now. Keep that in.
No, no, I will. I have become what I would describe as a brutal editor.
You
of
have.
this
Your
podcast.
episodes are like 20 minutes now.
The episodes have become noticeably shorter in
Good.
recently.
Get out.
Really?
Cheers.
Giving up
Yeah.
all
Make it
pretense of the theory.
Yeah,
Pretty soon, like,
I've
there's-
abandoned the concept of the podcast, Sean.
There's gonna
I
be
didn't tell you. I didn't tell you I was doing it. I
That
just
just
did
made
it.
a unilateral decision.
Yep.
There's gonna be
I
a
mean-
moment in a future episode where it's at like the 28-minute mark, and Matt just like cuts in and be like, "Hi, this is Matt. So the next 15 minutes were kind of a shit show, so I'm just gonna talk to you for a little bit." Okay, that was 15 minutes. We're gonna rejoin the show. It gets better now.
Matt doesn't even
Yeah.
do that.
And you know what?
It's not quite. It's not quite that. It's not quite to that level yet, but it's. I mean, it's coming. The day is coming.
That's why we need to get back on the ranch bad.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
that day.
I'm at the point now where where it takes me way longer than it should to do these because any lapse longer than a second gets out, just out.
Mhm. Nice.
Oh, good. No one cares.
Yeah.
Nobody
You're welcome,
cares.
listeners.
And it makes the podcast sound better. frankly.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't think anybody listens to this while watching the show. So
I understand that that's the premise of the podcast, and that's what we do. But I don't think necessarily anybody
Right.
needs to do that with us. Like,
agreed. I
that's-
certainly don't when I listen to it.
I don't know anybody because that's not how people listen to podcasts, right?
Yeah, exactly.
People consume podcasts when they're
In the
doing their
car.
chores or
Exactly.
jogging or
Right.
in the car on the way to work or whatever.
Did we start the show?
We did,
Yeah.
but we
Yeah.
haven't started the actual episode.
Mhm.
So
What are we watching,
why don't you
Aaron?
go ahead and do that?
It's called The Offspring.
That's right. We got to keep them separated.
That's
I know,
right. That's where the band got their name from, right?
Speaking of the 90s.
Is it? Is
Yes,
it?
we're saying that right here.
Mhm.
All right, planting our flag.
You know what we should do is instead of Sean and I looking at these trivia pages and bringing up trivia, we should just deliver fake,
And make our own trivia.
Yeah. just fake trivia, and just be like, "This is the episode where Patrick Stewart ate 14 donuts at the craft services table." And pooped himself in the middle of a scene. Famously, all the
Come on,
nerds know about that scene. You know,
Yep.
just make up trivia for the show.
100%.
I like it.
We could just mix fake and real in, and just let people have to figure it out for themselves.
Sure. I think we do the two reels and one fake.
Which is kind of what we do anyway. About 90% of the things we say are wrong on any
Oh,
given
it's
episode.
way less than 90%.
Punch the triangle, Sean.
I got 45 minutes and 48 seconds, and I'm punching the triangle in 3, 2, 1, punch.
Classic start. I'm going to predict early that this is a highly ranked episode. I think this is a classic Star Trek episode. And
It's another
it
good
would
one.
It's another good one. It's maybe not as good as last week's, but it's a very good
Very
episode. And this is another one that shows up a lot on Best Next Generation
Sure.
episode.
They start with this long tracking shot.
Yeah.
They're hauling ass down the hallway.
I like it when they do that because it shows you how big. I think how cool the set must have been. Like
Yeah.
if you could have just like walked around on Paramount stage, whatever, you know, and seen how cool the bridge looked and all that stuff.
Like,
Would be
what's Data up to?
Now, yeah, what is Data up to? Why has he got a Android?
So everyone, is this another one where we all watched it except Min?
Yeah.
Jake,
Yep.
you and me watched this?
Oh yeah, we watched it.
Mm.
Okay.
We
Did
watched
you like it?
Hell, did we like it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you agree with me that it's a very good episode?
It is a good episode. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
I give it an 8.6.
Okay, now this is the
now
this is the part
wild.
this is
Yeah.
the part where last night when I watched this, I said to myself, "Oh
Yeah.
no, Aaron is going to freak out." When
Yeah.
It's like the Oscars
I was
came
like,
to
if
life.
anything is going to make Aaron turn
that
the episode
face.
off, it's going to be this thing right here.
Like between the face and the crotch, it's like
Also, the boob area is
It's the
strange.
weird,
Yeah.
the word angular boobs.
wow.
If you imagine it as the Oscar statue, then it's more amenable.
It feels like an honor
Yeah.
just to be watching this episode.
Sweet.
It's certainly a choice they made.
It's a
Yeah.
bold choice.
Mhm.
Like
I don't know who made that choice, but
Attitude makes me calmer about it.
This is the second episode in a row where Picard just goes hard for his crew. Like he just says, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna back my crew, no matter how weird it is."
Yeah.
Yeah. Sean, give
so
us
we're watching The Offspring, season 3, episode 16. Original air date March 10th, 1990. After returning from a cybernetics conference to the Enterprise, Data creates his own quote-unquote child, much to the chagrin of his captain, and without regards to the ramifications with Starfleet. Aaron, you watched the episode.
Yes, I did.
What do you think the IMDb rating is?
8.6.
May,
Oh, I think that's close.
you watched the episode.
Yup.
What do you give it?
7-7.
All right. Then
I'll
win.
do-
You didn't watch
what did-
the episode.
No, I didn't. What did Aaron say? 8.6?
Yeah.
I say 6.8, just for the alien.
All right.
8,
This is hard. Go ahead. Sorry.
8,
go ahead.
7. Sorry,
8-7.
sorry to
God.
nickel and dime it.
God damn, that's exactly what I was gonna do. First,
you
I
go
wanted
ahead
to
and
say,
Go ahead then.
first I wanted to say 8.6, and Aaron took it. Then I wanted to say 8.7, and Jake took it.
Say 8.8 it then.
I'm gonna go 8.8.
8.5.
Oh, should have gone the
No.
other way.
May
Should've gone the other
actually got May wins by Price is Right rules.
Nice.
The only rules that matter. Are
She's the
those.
only true fan here.
Yeah. This is a special episode because it's the first episode directed by one Jonathan Frakes.
First
Oh.
one. Okay.
Oh.
Riker's in charge, baby.
So, which is
we
the
see-
first of, I looked it up. I looked up his IMDb because I wanted to look up how many times he had directed
Uh-huh.
and
Oh, ton.
it's Star Trek. And
Yeah.
not only has he directed a lot of Star Trek, he's directed a lot of stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like his,
Directed
and
shows.
he's acted in a shit ton too. I didn't realize how much acting he had done.
He's working.
Well, that explains why he gets a creepy kiss written into the script.
Yeah.
I don't think it's creepy. I think it's funny.
Well, I think
I mean, it's played for laughs. Like
it's the first time in a long time he's broken a record for a youngest thing kissed.
yeah. Yeah, because she's like 2 days old.
Yeah.
So that is pretty young to start making out with bearded men.
So, just for everyone, the number of episodes Jonathan Frakes has directed: 8 episodes of Next Generation, 3 of Deep Space Nine, 3 of Voyager. He directed 2 movies: First Contact and Insurrection. And where else did he?
Oh,
He's
wow.
directed some of the new stuff too. He's directed
Yeah, he's directed.
Discoveries
He's
and
directed 2 episodes of Picard.
Yeah.
He directed 2 episodes, I think, of Discovery.
If he directed this, does he also appear in it? He shows up?
He does. He's not in it very much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
6
he's
episodes of
Out
Discovery
of town, they said at the beginning of the episode.
and 2 episodes of The Orville.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, nobody's perfect. Look how cool, look how long this hallway is. Like
Hey.
it's
Yeah.
it's cool that they're able to do these long, like it's almost like somebody watched The West Wing before long years before The West Wing started and was
They
like,
got in a time warp, went forward, watched West Wing.
maybe it's the other way around. Maybe the guy who directs The West Wing was a fan of Star Trek and was like, I like it when they walk down the
Those
hall and talk
Long
to
tracking
each other.
shots of them walking down the hall.
I'm going to make that my signature directorial maneuver.
It's called
I-
the maneuver.
I love this orange thing that's on his desk because it reminds me of the stuff you used to make in like wood shop, out of plastic. Do you know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about?
Mm.
Yeah. I didn't
Those
never took
acrylic
wood shop. I
signs.
never took wood shop. Did you take wood shop?
Yeah. It was like
Really?
weird.
Mhm.
Had to.
But you
It
got
was
to play with
In
required.
high
acrylic?
school?
Wow.
Middle school.
Oh.
Huh.
The teacher
Young.
had a
Yeah,
reputation.
we got
Michigan,
11
after
to
all.
13-year-olds here. Hanema saw.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I almost completely like tore up my finger. It like stopped just in time for me not to like lose a digit.
And it was required?
It was part of the like suite of what do you call
Life
them?
skills?
Like not accessories. What do they call it?
Electives.
Elective.
Electives. I was like
Did
something
you
like
But
that.
choose to do it, or
the
did
very
you,
word
is you get
elective
to choose them?
means that it was not required. So that means you chose wood shop.
No. But it seemed.
Did you have maybe you had a mandatory specialty class?
Yeah, it was like we had several of them throughout the year. Like part of the year
Sure.
was like home ec, and part of the year was
Yeah.
workshops.
Yeah.
and
It was mandatory, but it was like not one of the
It
core.
wasn't like a core. Like maybe
And you only
got
had it for like a
no
quarter.
pass or yeah.
Yeah.
It's all a blur, man. But I,
we
don't think
did
I
that
got
in
enough
middle
not to
school,
take
too.
wood shop. So I guess elective is not
Wood-
the right word.
You know what I wish I had taken in high school, in all honesty, is I wish I had taken auto shop
Yeah. I know nothing
Don't be
about
useful,
cars.
right?
because it's a practical life
Yeah.
skill. And like
Yeah.
instead I was too busy taking, AP Spanish and shit, which is like not helped me at all. I mean, I guess it helped me get into college, but you know what I mean? Like it was
Yeah.
there's
didn't
such
take
a
I wish
there's
I-
such a divide. There's such a divide, at least at my high school there was, between like
Using
you
your
were a
hands. and-
you were
yeah.
a smart kid and you took smart kid classes.
Yeah, auto shop had a rep for
Right.
yeah,
That's
Yeah.
where all
like,
the
like
demo-
vocational training for the people that
Yeah,
want to
it's
go.
where all
So
the
let's
it's where
look
all
at
the
law
delinquents.
just like gender neutral, like a skipper doll, fucked up
Yeah.
skipper doll. Like
Auto shops where
Oh,
the fucking T-birds end up,
That's right. That's where all the bad people.
I
in
was
the-
much more of a Eugene than I was a T-bird.
Right.
Is his name Eugene? Did I get that
That is
right?
correct. That's
Oh,
correct.
good. So, but I wish I had taken it now because that would be useful shit to
Sure.
know.
yeah,
Even at
Well-
home as a kid, my dad's like he's one of those guys. Like he knows how to work on cars and make things out of wood. Like he's one of those guys. And when I was a kid, he would try to teach me because he would do shit on our car, my mother's car. And
Yeah.
he would try and he would be like, come out into the garage and let me show you how to, change the oil or whatever. And instead I was reading X-Men comic books or whatever and had no time for that. But I wish I had now.
Oh.
Sorry, I got distracted by my favorite
Okay.
Martian appearing.
John, who's in the lol in the neuter suit?
Well, I don't know if she's doing it in the weird suit. The actress who plays her when she's normal.
I doubt it because it seems.
I
like
don't
you
know. It might
have
be.
to check.
She might be inside the. I honestly don't know. It doesn't.
I
say.
mean, are we going to start making up fake facts or do you want the real
Yeah,
answer?
I mean,
Yes.
unless that
Two
weird
real
chef
one fake.
Inside
hiding
the
her
weird.
suits.
No, it's her. The actress's name is Hallie or Haley
No,
Todd.
weirdly, it's Kathleen Turner. Like she came in for a brief cameo.
All right.
They put her in the outfit. I was making up a fake fact. I was
know.
trying to,
Oh, solid.
I
Oh.
love how she goes up and down. I feel like what's up on top is like the stage at Disneyland that runs out of the ground, and like when he shoves her up there, she has to perform for the crowd.
And that's who Riker's going to make out with?
Just wait for it, man. You'll
Yeah,
see.
every time it goes up, she's like, "All right, stage face, lol, stage face. Here we go. we do it for the fans." And he's like, "What is going on up there?"
It was some like skinny horse jockey dude who's actually in the outfit in those early scenes.
That's what
If you want the real answer.
It's that guy who does the Horta.
What form would you pick out of those options that they?
Out of those, okay, FMK, LOL, or the green alien. LOL as she is in right now,
Yeah.
or the green
The
my favorite
Andorian.
Martian
I
alien,
was gonna pick the weird law, but go ahead.
or weird androgynous LOL.
Okay. I mean, I feel like you have to try to fuck the weird one just to see where you put it.
That
right?
the weird one has no
I know.
That's
Good
the
challenge.
challenge.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, okay.
I thought you were asking just like if you could if you were like actually given that choice, what would you look like?
Hmm.
That's how I started the question, but it got
I hijacked it away from you
Yeah.
and turned it
It's
into.
okay.
totally cool.
I'm going along with it.
I say you F lol 1.0, the androgynous lol.
Agreed. You have to. You got to try it one time.
You marry this lol,
Yeah,
and
you marry
you
this
kill my favorite Martian.
Yeah, that's what I say. Agreed.
Yeah.
Well, there was also an attractive human male and a Klingon.
He's not in it. It's 3. FMK.
All
One of my
right.
favorite things about us, Sean, is how often we agree on FMK.
Well,
I feel like
You guys are aligned.
Yeah,
I like
pretty-
Data being a mentor here. He's very patient.
I like the little joke where he throws the ball and she misses it. That's
Yeah.
another very popular Giphy thing. Like whenever someone wants to post something about someone missing the point of something, they'll post that little GIF of her missing the ball and being like, "You missed the point." Twitter. It's a force for good, you know.
At times.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Everyone should be spending way more time on Twitter. That's what I have to say.
Have you been? Have they gotten to you, Matt? Has the Twitterverse
Yeah, that's
gotten to
right.
you?
I'm working for big Twitter now.
Yeah.
Boy, I wish. If Twitter wanted to sponsor this podcast, I would absolutely sell out in a
Up
heartbeat.
to
I
that
would,
T a second.
yeah, I would become the most pro Twitter person you've ever.
Tell me where to bend over.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! We don't. This is a Wendy's, sir.
There are some funny things on Twitter.
That's one of my favorites.
There's an account on Twitter that's called Nihilist Arby's, and it's just this guy who posts. He just posts these really horrible nihilistic statements, and then at the end it says "Eat at Arby's." So he'll say like, "Life is a pointless void of meaningless and sadness that ends in death and eternal sadness." And then at the end he says, "Don't forget to get your beef and cheddar at Arby's." It's a one joke account, but the one joke is really funny. It makes me laugh every time. There are a few. I actually wrote this down as something to talk about. There are a couple of Star Trek parody accounts that are pretty funny. There's one called Riker Googling that's just imagining what Riker would Google. So it's things like red alert won't turn off. Starship computer voice erotic fanfic. How to host Burning Man on holodeck.
Mm-hmm.
Do mind melds cause cancer? WebMD.
What? No.
Trombonist or tromboner?
Tromboner, please.
Oh man.
So Riker Googling, if you're looking for a fun follow on Twitter, Riker Googling is very funny. And there's another one called Enterprise Computer that just does like sort of random, here's what the Enterprise would say to you. And what's fun is that sometimes Enterprise Computer will respond to Riker Googling. So Riker Googling will Google something funny, and then Enterprise Computer will reply back like, here's what your Google result would have been. I don't know. Sometimes Twitter actually does make me laugh.
So now you're
is
saying
where
that
Picard-
I'll have to go somewhere else.
For
She can't stay.
Min,
Well,
do you need a
Picard's
quick,
trying
quick plot
yeah.
summary of what's
Yeah,
happened in
yeah.
this episode?
is Picard trying to stand up for Data here?
Sure is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
This is a bit of an unofficial sequel to Measure of a Man, which is the episode where Picard has to defend Data's rights
It's a lot of the same.
Yeah.
as a human being, right? Or as a sentient being. This is a little bit of a follow-up. They actually reference Measure of a Man in this episode. So what's happened, Min, is that Data has figured out a way to build an android daughter. And the big thing about Data is that he's the only one, right? Because the person who created him died, and despite their
Dr.
best
Soong.
efforts, Dr. Soong, and despite their best efforts, no one has been able to recreate Data, even though they've tried a lot. So Data is this sort of unique creature in all of the galaxy, but he has figured out a way to create a android daughter.
Mhm.
So,
But she seems a little off.
well, she's a child, right?
Yeah.
She's like 2 days old, so she's still learning, which is why she's can't catch a ball and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
She's essentially a baby, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they've introduced her to this like room of kindergartners to try and like help her acclimate, and she's a little too weird. Like the 5-year-olds weren't having it. They were like, we don't want to talk to the weird old lady.
Right. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Why don't they acclimate her in the holodeck? Wouldn't that, or they just want real kids, real people for her to interact with?
You know what, Min? That is an excellent question. I don't know if I've ever thought of that before. That's great. I don't know the answer to that. They don't talk about it in the episode, but that is a terrific question. That is exactly the kind of nitpicky what if that Star Trek fans live for. The woman who plays Lal, I think, is really good. Like, you're missing a little bit of it, Min, because you can't hear her.
Yeah,
but
sure. Yeah.
she has a kind of slightly
Robot
robotic voice, but not like she's not doing bleep bloop, that kind of thing.
Oh, come on, it's Kathleen Turner. Like, what do you expect?
No, Kathleen Turner was only there for when they were in the. She was in the
Oh, she was in the. Oh, I got you. Oh, okay.
That was who was actually in there. She didn't want to be on camera. She just liked
Right.
Star Trek.
Uncredited.
Who is that woman who plays Lal? Sean?
Her name is
What can you tell us?
Haley Todd.
Yeah.
She's probably most well known as playing the mother on Lizzie McGuire.
Huh. I never watched Lizzie McGuire. I was
didn't
aged
either.
out of it at that point, but I didn't want to get on some list by watching Lizzie
Sure.
McGuire in my late 20s or whenever that was
She's
on.
been in a lot of things. Her earliest credit is of 1976.
Oh, wow.
She's been around a while.
Yep.
Lal is such an unusual, weird name, even for Star Trek, don't you think?
Beverly is wearing my favorite wig. Sorry, Mean. I didn't mean to interrupt, but that is my favorite Beverly wig. The word lol, they talk about it in the episode, actually. It's like a Hindi word that means beloved.
Oh.
They say that I was reading some trivia that's not true. That it
Oh,
means
really?
beloved in other there is some connection to it, but it's not 100% true what they say in the episode.
Oh.
I
Well,
don't
they were
remember
probably trying. I mean, they didn't have the internet, so they couldn't
Right.
Google shit like what's a word, what word is beloved in Hindi.
Yeah.
So they probably did some research and
Right. That was the best. That's what they found.
got it as close as they could.
They didn't have books, so.
This is the exact opposite of last week's episode in the sense that it is a purely character-based episode. Like, there's no threat, there's no baddie. It's just Data and his daughter, and what are they going to do, Even the mean admiral who shows up turns out to be not all that mean.
All right.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
The sleepwear of the future.
Future
Yeah.
leisure wear, you guys.
When I was watching this earlier
Bathrobe.
today, Philippe came in the room and he's like, yeah, that's how he sleeps, like a fucking Greek god.
You notice how shiny the pillow is? That can't be comfortable.
They love a deep, deep V.
They
in the
do.
future. Like,
Do you think that was Patrick Stewart's choice, or it must have
Hell
been,
yeah.
right?
Like
he said,
fucking
I would like to
Jean-Luc
wear
Picard.
a mini robe.
Yeah.
Sleep
His
like a
way of letting
goddamn
it
Greek god.
Wait. You said that Riker directed this episode, right? Yeah.
He
okay.
did, yeah.
Okay. Maybe he's trying to get more of the bear out of everyone. Nice. Well, I liked how Picard was so
It always
comfortable with
makes
it.
me a little uncomfortable when they try to sexualize Jean-Luc.
What?
Like, I love him as a character and as a person, but I'm always just like, you know what? He doesn't have to be. Don't try and do that to Patrick Stewart. It's
Can I be honest with you? That was more palatable than Tom Cruise in that Mission Impossible scene. with his shirt off.
You got a real bug up your ass about this
Yeah,
Tom
I do.
Cruise.
I do.
Possible.
I'm that's my stand. That's the hill I'm going to die on.
Uh-huh.
That's the bug he's gonna die on.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to
Kind
remember that he's 60 years old, right? Like he's
Yeah, but how old is Patrick Stewart here?
like
He
in
looks
his late
good.
40s.
40s.
Oh, stop it.
No, I'm serious.
True.
We've talked about
I
this a
know.
million times. Patrick
Yeah, I
Stewart went
know.
bald at like age 17, and he looked like a 50-year-old from the time he was 20 to the time he was 75.
Mhm.
It's a blessing and a curse, you know.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about Patrick Stewart is even at 60, he knows not to take his shirt off. So I commend him for that choice as well. Thank you.
Wearing the sort of deep V thing, which we see him wear a few times, is the closest they ever got to making poor Patrick take his shirt off.
Did you feel that was sexualized? Were you turned on?
No, that's my whole point. Is that it's not sexy.
Oh, okay.
It's anti-sexy. It's whatever the opposite of sexy is.
I don't know. I was a little
It's
turned on.
bizarro sexy.
There's a great little nodding interaction there with Guinan and Data.
Yeah, we skipped right over Guinan. Aaron, where are you right now?
Yeah.
I was just following along your sexy talk.
Where are you
Really?
on the Jean-Luc sexiness scale?
I
Yes,
mean,
no,
I
maybe so.
enjoyed seeing him in a different capacity, but it confused me a little bit.
Oh, really? Oh.
Those feelings are natural,
It's
Aaron. It's okay.
unusual, yeah. I felt strings, tinglings in different parts of my body.
Give yourself over to Captain Picard.
I mean, I think that's
You're
pretty
wrong.
clear.
I think Patrick Stewart is amazing looking. I just don't think he's necessarily sexy.
All right.
He's kind of like iconic in a way that almost
Transcends sexuality? Oh.
He's like a dad.
in this role is not. He's been in other roles that are more, I would say, sexier roles. Just this role for this is not the first thing you think of because he's buttoned up for the most
Now
part.
I want to know what the sexy Patrick Stewart roles are.
He was on a funny show. I forget what it was called, but he's really funny. It's more recent. I'd have to look it up. I watched it
The
for a
one
while.
where he played the psychiatrist, or
Maybe. I'm just blanking on what it's called. I'd have to look up Patrick Stewart's stuff. To
And
tell
he was
you.
Here are Patrick
sexy in it?
Stewart's. Here's the thing with Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart is sexy, but only when he plays gay. Because Patrick Stewart is really fun and sexy in the movie version of Jeffrey.
Okay.
right?
He's funny and sexy in the episode of Frasier where he
Right.
plays the opera conductor who thinks that Frasier is gay,
And
and
his boyfriend.
Frasier basically becomes his boyfriend for the episode. He's really charming and sexy in that episode. So I
Mhm.
think Patrick Stewart is sexy when he's gay. But then
And
I guess I think that
not-
about
He's
I
not.
kind of think that about everybody though. So I don't know if that's really
But
fair.
he's not gay in.
Real life.
No.
No, he's not. I'm saying when he plays gay characters.
No, I was just
when he-
curious because I really don't know much about him.
No,
so
he's
I-
super straight in real life. He married a woman that he met on this show who's like 20 something years younger than him.
I
Like
thought you
There it is.
said God.
there it is.
Well, she
Right when
kissed
Daddy
him.
walks in, too.
Yeah, I mean, she kisses him. It's not like Riker's fault.
Yeah. He was on
Poor
God,
Ryan.
he's-
That was unconsensual.
Blunt Talk. Did you ever see Blunt Talk?
Blunt talk.
That was
I know what you're
That's what's
talking
up.
about, but I didn't watch it.
He's sexy in Blunt Talk.
Yeah.
Blunt talk. Do they talk about blunts?
I think his name was Blunt.
Oh.
That's why.
I think he's like
like a-
has a TV show or
Yeah,
something.
he's more like a what's it, Bill O'Reilly type character. I think.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he was like a.
But he's really
new-
funny in it. It's a different kind of. Anyway,
But he was
I-
kind of playing an asshole, right? Like he was
He
sort of.
can- He's very funny.
I watched,
Yeah.
He can be
I watched
very
the
funny.
pilot.
Mm.
There's a couple people who I know who are on it.
Blunt Talk.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I just, for some reason, stopped watching it, but I watched quite a few of them.
It was on like
There's hot pics of
Stars,
him
right?
during his Royal Shakespeare Company days.
Oh, I
Sure.
can see that.
Very nice.
Excalibur days.
Yeah, I think I've even maybe posted it into the
Yeah.
chat.
Uh,
Pictures of him when
Midsummer.
he was playing like Oberon or somebody in Midsummer Night's Dream, like black and white photos of him from like
Yeah,
the 60s and 70s. And you're like, yeah, he was a snack back in the day. Sure.
Mhm.
You know when he's sexy now is when he's jumping into ball pits with Ian McKellen at like
Sure.
McDonald's playhouses or whatever. Like that's when he's sexy. I'm just like, oh, look how happy they are together.
well, it's probably good when an actor doesn't seem. It just means that they embody whatever role they're supposed to be playing, and it's more about the role than necessarily that. Oh,
Ian McKellen got asked once about the fact that he's constantly kissing Patrick Stewart. Like they're always taking pictures of themselves kissing. He was like, I think the interviewer asked Ian McKellen if Patrick Stewart's wife objected to them kissing all the time. And he said, no, I kiss her all the time too. And it was very
Oh yeah.
charming. British.
Three-way.
Well,
They're
except
What Ian wants or Ian gets.
Yeah, you don't fuck around with Ian McKellen.
See, I don't like how he was like cocktail waitress. It's like, come on, she's just like a server. That's shade. That's shade.
I agree. He is being a bit shaming on the service industry.
That's right.
being a little classist. Elitist.
Yep.
Honestly, I'm not really sure why he needs her so bad. Like, this is how you get, those weird stories of like, oh, he was a family friend and he was like, I really think she should come live with me. And we're like, oh, okay, if you think it's best for her.
Oh, the Starfleet muckety muck? Why he's like that?
Yeah.
I mean, look, he's reaching the end of his Starfleet tenure. He's got no real major accomplishments to hang his hat on. He's like, oh, here's this unique opportunity to put my name on something big.
Oh, that's what it is. He's got to make a mark.
It's that self-serving, Jake.
I think that's where he starts at the beginning of the episode.
I mean, he's a Starfleet admiral. Don't you think he would try to embody Starfleet principles?
I mean, you know what he wants? He wants his kids to call him once in a while. I don't think it's happening.
Well, he's a long way from home.
I think he's trying to create a granddaughter.
he's trying to justify sending them to boarding school.
Sean, I have in my notes here to ask you about whether you did forcing your children to pretend like it's 1985 weekend.
I have not done it yet.
Okay.
No.
That was something you talked about on the show, about
Yes.
taking away all their screens for a whole weekend and
Yeah.
giving them only like basic television channels and the radio for amusement.
Yep. Haven't done it
VHS
yet.
cassettes.
Right.
That takes.
She seems adversarial, he says. Well, because you're fucking trying to take her away from the only family she's ever known. Come on, guy. This guy.
Yeah, and she's different from Data because she's having emotions. So she's not, she's sort of more advanced than Data.
Yep.
That's just spurring him on, though. He's like, look how erratic she is. We got to get her to a controlled facility before she explodes science all over the place.
Well, I suppose my question is like, what do they do with Lull after this episode? Is it just like
Why don't you just wait and see?
Sure.
Till the
Yeah.
end of the episode.
They put her
All
in a
of your-
closet.
All of
Okay.
your questions will be answered.
Yeah, we'll be.
All right,
Yeah,
I gotta
she
ask you a
moves-
question. You remember what happens at the end of the episode when Counselor Troy has a baby?
Yep. Parent for a day.
Yeah.
Spoiler
That's
alert.
not really what happens in this episode, though.
I mean, it does revisit Star Trek's love of giving main characters children for a day.
For a
one.
day.
That's
Yeah.
true.
That's what I'm talking
Fair
about.
enough.
Oh, here it comes.
Anna's wearing her outfit where it makes one of her boobs bigger than the other.
There it is. She's feeling. She's
Yeah.
feeling.
She's having feelings, and Deanna's whole thing is reading people's feelings, so she's able to tell that she's having a feeling.
I thought this actress played this part really well.
I did too. I think this is a really good performance in a kind of a hard thing to pull off, right? Like,
Mhm.
this is
Yeah.
not easy to come in as a guest star and
No, and have a stupid haircut.
pull this sort of a complicated character to pull off in a one-off performance. I think she's really good.
Oh, no, I think that the Bob is treading the line between Pen 15 and Velma Kelly.
How's
I
that?
kind of like the bob. I think it's meant to make her look young, right?
Yeah.
She's supposed to look.
Yeah, the bowl cut.
Yeah. It's a classic Star Trek dilemma. What is the ethical and correct thing to do in this
Give her a
situation?
wig like Dark Crusher, I think would be the
Mhm.
ethical thing to do.
Well, she does have her own bangy wig, So it seems like Data successfully made an android with feelings. Why doesn't he make more?
Yeah. What's that about?
I would say with
Mhm.
he limitedly successfully with an asterisk.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. I haven't watched.
You'll
the
find
whole
out
episode
why he doesn't make more, man, because
yet. Okay.
all of your questions are going to be answered once you see what ultimately ends up happening.
Okay.
And then they'll never speak of it again.
That's not really true, though, because they brought it up again in Picard. I mean, it took them 30 years, but they,
Okay.
but
Oh,
they
that was a
did.
question I had. So is this episode like the main premise of Picard first season? Because Data makes a person and, that's what first season was, right?
It's not Data, though, but it's sort of. I mean, yes, sort of.
It's
The first
based on
season
the
of
same,
Picard,
line of AI.
yeah. The whole first season is about like AIs and data type people. Yes, the answer is yes. The answer to your question is essentially yes. It's very good, by the way. Everybody should watch season 1 of Picard and listen to our hours-long podcasts about it.
Which we learned is our most popular.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I keep editing these things down, but it turns out what people really like
Is
are
for us to
3-hour-long
talk longer.
podcasts about 1-hour-long television shows.
Yeah.
They like those Buca de Beppo servings.
I don't know what to say about that.
It's America, damn. We like our shit big.
Like,
More for your money.
Yeah.
With
Yeah. Your money is,
you-
I mean, the podcast is free, but yeah, it's more for your money.
Mhm.
Yeah. You need to be able to fall asleep for a bit and wake up and still have it be the same episode.
Right?
That's it. That's the dream. That's where we're our best, when we're treading that line between conscious and unconscious.
I am Starfleet Captain. And he's like, hell no. Don't you go nowhere, Data.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this guy is just another in the long line of admirals on
Starfleet
Star Trek being
bureaucrats.
dicks. Yeah. Even though he kind of redeems himself a tiny bit towards the end, he's still your sort of classic asshole admiral.
Yeah, I think my theory earlier is it holds water. I think he's here to throw his weight around, get some clout.
Well, he's kind of exactly like the guy from Measure of a Man, right? He wants to take her away so he can fucking experiment on her.
Right.
Yeah. Tinker.
He's a classic tinkerer.
Uh-oh. What's going on, Data?
She's malfunctioning, Min. She's
Mhm.
she's
She
short
had
circuit.
feelings. And they fucking messed her up.
Yep. Pure proof that feelings are what fuck up human beings.
But it's what makes us human.
What do you think her hair really looks like underneath that wig?
God knows.
What if it was just exactly the same? Like she just has that exact same bowl cut underneath that wig.
This is a fun little production design thing.
These
Yeah.
are space pliers.
They don't really do this sort of pokey thing to open her head.
Yeah, it just holds down the front of her wig. Well done.
It's like a key almost.
Yeah, Data's head, it looks the same way whenever they open Data up. And I love that it's just like, it's the most old school, just a bunch of lights that light up. Like
Yeah.
just a bunch of
Circuits.
blippy, it's just a bunch of blippy bloops, and it's absolutely wonderful.
Oh, well, she's not going to make it.
Uh,
No. She's
No.
malfunctioning.
I see. So that's why there are no more kids. Can't make it happen.
Yeah.
Oh, this is
Until
his
they
redemption moment.
Yeah, because he at least tried to help save her when she was malfunctioning.
Yeah.
So he feels a little bad. As well he should.
I think he's just mad that like he's not gonna be able to bring her back. That he's failed.
Right. In Jake's version of the story, he's just like realized he just missed his shot, right?
My daddy will never be proud of me now.
Like,
I'll never win the Cochrane Prize now.
he's just like, looks like I'll just be retiring to Boca, and that'll be that. Nobody will be here from me again.
Boca. Boca's not a bad place.
I know that sounds fine. That
Mhm.
sounds completely fine.
I would love to retire to Boca. That sounds great to me.
You want to go live in Florida?
I mean, Florida needs more Democrats. We need to get some people into Florida and start.
Is that where Boca
turning
is?
things around.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you guys were talking about like a place in Mexico or something.
Baja,
Cabo. No,
Cabo.
this is Boca.
Yeah. No.
Rearrange the
Boca.
letters.
Turn the
Boca
word.
Raton.
Yeah.
Just outside
Boca
of Miami.
Raton, Florida.
That means
Never mind.
that means what? Rat mouth.
Yeah, it does.
Sounds lovely.
It's sort of by Fort Lauderdale.
Better than butt face.
And they're all sad for him.
Yeah.
And he's
Totally.
like, "Oh, I can't feel it."
Yeah, I like this moment a lot because they all feel bad, but he does not.
Even when he was like telling her, like she was like, "I love you," and you know, I'm sad or whatever, and he was like, "Oh, I am not."
Yeah, he looked like he was thinking about saying it just to say it,
Yeah.
but he was like, "Nah, it would just be a lie."
Wait, he transferred her memory, so he remembers kissing Riker?
100%.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, I
Of
mean,
all
that
the things, that's where your mind went. Right
Come on.
to-
I mean,
yeah.
wouldn't call me weird, all right? I don't care. You already do.
She kissed a lot of people that
Yeah.
day. You just saw her kissing Riker.
She was
Yeah.
macking on all the guys in the 10 forward.
What? Was? Oh.
The real reason why Data shut her down. He thought she was becoming a whore.
Oh, whoa.
And no whore daughter is.
He get all
She's gonna go tramping around 10 forward with that hussy Guinan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think you got
you
it.
don't need to
You-
worry about it, Jake. I'm gonna cut all this.
Thank you, man.
yeah, edit power.
Well, here's
This
my
episode.
question, though.
This episode is gonna end when Min says, "What happens to Lol at the end?" And I'm gonna cut it 37 minutes in.
Nice. Keep it tight.
This is gonna be Matt. This is Matt.
No.
The rest of the episode has been cut.
No, he's just going to cut it. To
I've
do a
had
voiceover is
Producer
just too
Jake
much
write a
extra
new
work.
jingle for me for when I cut into the episode. And...
I would love a jingle for when I cut into an episode. This content has been removed.
Nothing like but that for half the episode.
I haven't done a jingle in a while. It might be time.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, every time you cut a piece, you just loop that jingle through the whole part.
Yeah.
You know?
That won't be annoying.
So, Aaron, what did you think? You liked this one, right? This is a good one.
Yeah, it's a good episode. I mean, it's hard to follow up the last one, but it was good. It had a lot of things a lot of meat on its bones. A
Yeah.
lot of things to think about.
These are the glory days of Star Trek. The
Next episode is another great episode.
Next episode. What is next week? Is it Worf and the Klingons?
Sins of the Father.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Worf and the Klingons.
We have talked before, Aaron, about the fact that Worf has a complicated backstory
Right.
involving his Klingon past, and they've alluded to it a couple of times. But I think next week is the first one where we really get into it, right, Sean?
Yep.
Good.
The good Worf stuff. All the Worf stuff is
We
good.
learned
So.
why he needs prune juice. Got it.
I love that. I love when he calls it a warrior strength. I think that's just such a funny, like, it's the perfect thing to have him say. It's a really good line. Whoever wrote that. Well, we're done, Aaron.
Correct.
Good job.
Good job, guys.
Do you want to
I
tell
did the
everybody? You want to tell everybody where they can find us online?
No, thanks.
Well, then maybe I will say that you can rate, review, and subscribe to our podcast on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. You can follow us on Instagram at Warped the Podcast and buy our merchandise at lunar_flare. You can email us at warpedthepodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter at Warped Trek. Follow me at Host Warped and follow Min to learn about our Dungeons and Dragons and Call of Cthulhu podcasts and live streams. Or, most importantly of all, you can go to patreon.com/warped, become a subscriber, and get access to bonus content and additional materials. Back to you, Aaron.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for listening. I'm Aaron.
See, it happened again. It wasn't
Where
my
is
fault.
Sean?
You're supposed to go next.
You're second.
I'm John.
I'm Matt.
I'm Jake.
I'm Min.
Jesus.
I'm a
Yay! We got it there, guys.
Fucking professionals.
I was laughing.
I think you have to be paid to be a professional, honestly.
Ah.